Welcome to my Titanic passenger profile series. She was a woman who lived by her own rules in a world of rigid tradition, but could her sharp intellect find a way out of a sinking iron fortress? In the spring of 1912, 53-year-old Helen Churchill Candee was a force of nature, a celebrated author, interior decorator, and a pioneering feminist who had already conquered the literary world. Independent and fiercely capable, she was a woman who had raised her children alone in an era that frowned upon divorce, turning her keen eye for design and culture into a successful career. She was rushing back to Washington, D.C. after receiving a frantic cablegram. Her son had been seriously injured in an accident, and every second she spent on the Atlantic felt like an eternity. Her journey was a race against time, a mother's desperate return across the sea, fueled by a mixture of professional success and personal dread. Helen boarded the Titanic at Cherbourg as a first-class passenger, holding ticket number 17606, a passage that cost £27, 9 shillings, and 2 pence. She occupied cabin B49, a space as elegant as her own interior designs, located on the bridge deck where the elite gathered to discuss art, politics, and the future. For 4 days, Helen was the center of a sophisticated social circle known as the Group of Six, surrounded by influential men who were captivated by her wit and worldly experience. But on the night of April 14th, the vibration of the iceberg strike interrupted a late-night conversation, a dull thud that signaled the end of the Edwardian summer. As the ship began its slow, heavy tilt, Helen's practical mind took over. She entrusted a precious silver flask and a miniature portrait of her mother to a male friend for safekeeping. She reached the boat deck as the first lifeboats were being prepared, her calm exterior masking the urgency of a woman who knew her son was waiting on the other side. Helen was handed into lifeboat number 6, the same boat carrying the indomitable Molly Brown, and she watched from the water as the unsinkable giant vanished into the dark. In the chaos of the evacuation, she suffered a severe fracture to her ankle, a painful reminder of the ship's violent end that would stay with her for the rest of her life. When the Carpathia arrived, Helen was a survivor, but her story was only beginning. She documented her experiences in a vivid account that would later influence the world's memory of the tragedy. She didn't let the trauma of the Atlantic slow her down. She went on to serve as a nurse during World War I and continued to travel the globe as a respected journalist and explorer. Helen Churchill Candee passed away in 1949 at the age of 90, and she is buried in the First Congregational Church Cemetery in Ellsworth, Maine. Her legacy is one of resilience and reinvention, a woman who survived the greatest shipwreck in history and never stopped looking toward the next horizon. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my Titanic passenger profile series. Stay tuned for my next video.